Hello, Cheeto-eating basement dwellers living with your parents. Today, let's talk about feminist.org. So, yesterday I made a video with PriorityPod about two female women in the UK. And yes, I know I said female women, but in today's society, you gotta be specific. You know, pronouns and all that. I might piss some people off. I'm not trying to. Actually, I am trying to. Who raped and molested a young boy until he was, I would say, 17, I believe. He may have been 14. It may have been 14 or 17. But anyway, these two women raped him since he was a little boy, and they're not getting jail time because they were deaf, with an F, not TH. For some reason, my audio comes out with a TH. So today I was wondering to myself, is there any feminist that, would care about this because they care about men? They say they care about men, they also fight for men's rights, and they also want to help men of rape. So I was thinking, I'll go to a feminist site, and more than likely it'll be trending. It'll be topical news. But of course, the only thing trending, their latest news: thousands join Standing Rock Sioux Tribe to protest oil pipeline. New Jersey governor vetoes $15 minimum wage. Supreme Court will not revive North Carolina voter restriction laws. And that's it for the latest news. But what I really want to look at here, since they're not going to talk about men's rights, even though they claim to be for men's rights, is this little bit in the top middle. And it says, "The time is now for the Equal Right Amendment," with a big icon next to it that says ERA yes, which is equal rights yes. And so when you click on it, this is what it shows you. So as you can see, it's feminist majority, which I believe is still feminist.org. And it says, "It's time for the Equal Rights Amendment. As it stands, the U.S. Constitution has no explicit ban on sex discrimination. The Equal Rights Amendment has been introduced in every Congress between 1923 until it was passed in 1972. In the current Congress, two resolutions have been introduced. One to start over with an entire new effort to pass a federal Equal Rights Amendment, and another, the three-state strategy, to lift the time limit placed on the preamble of the Equal Rights Amendment that was passed out of Congress in 1972. So a preamble is a preliminary or preparatory statement and introduction, or it can be, for law, the introductory part of a status or deed stating its purpose, aims, and justification. That means that the amendment has been passed, but it hasn't been ratified, and there's about to be a time limit expiration on it, I guess. It's about to expire, so they want to put it back in the news because they got to get this through. They got to get these extra rights. So reading further on feminist.org, 35 states have ratified the 1972 Equal Rights Amendment. We only need 3 more states to ratify the ERA and for it to become a part of the U.S. Constitution. We say there can be no time limit on equality." Okay, so now we're going to look up the Equal Rights Act. What they're talking about in this article is the 1972 Equal Rights Amendment, which, as you know, it passed in 1972, but it started in 1967, and that's what we're going to look up. We're going to start in the beginning. This is the National Organization for Women Bill of Rights in 1968, adopted at the 1967 National Conference. The first one, it says Equal Rights Constitutional Amendment. Number 2, enforce law banning sex discrimination in employment. Number 3, maternity leave rights in employment and in Social Security benefits. Number 4, tax deduction for home and child care expenses for working parents. Number 5, child daycare centers. Number 6, equal and unsegregated education. Number 7, equal job training opportunities and allowance for women in poverty. Number 8, the right of women to control their reproductive rights. So this bill was adopted in 1967, and it was created by 28 feminists and 49 founders altogether, I believe. And Congress passed this amendment in 1972. So basically now what feminists are trying to do is get it ratified, because it's not ratified completely. They need 3 more states to ratify it. The reason this bill came about is because those 28 feminists were upset with the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which they believe did not protect women from discrimination enough in the workplace. With a simple search, you can see that in 1964, the Civil Rights Act was passed, which doesn't allow discrimination from anyone. No one is allowed to be discriminated against. These feminists who created NOW just want extra protection for themselves for some reason, because I guess back in 1967, yeah, maybe people were a little sexist still back then, but this is 2016, I believe. It's the current year, right? We have equality. You cannot discriminate against someone or you will have a lawsuit on your hands. Oh, wait, guys, I think I just figured it out. It's because we live in a patriarchy. That's why. I mean, people get discriminated against all the time. Or, well, not people, women. Women get discriminated against all the time. Like earlier in the video when I told you about those two women who raped that little boy until he was almost an adult or an adult, they got away with it because they were deaf. And we live in a patriarchy, and that's what you do in the patriarchy. You don't spank the women. Well, you do spank the women. Back to feminist.org. Basically, all this is a trick to get you into thinking, especially if you're a young woman, that you do not have equal rights to everyone else. Equal rights passed in 1964. These women made up the N.O.W Bill because they got all upset. And the only thing is, the N.O.W Bill hasn't been ratified. It's been passed as an amendment, but it has been ratified. I just want young women to realize that these feminists make money off of you, and young stupid men too. But the thing is, they trick you into thinking you're a victim. They trick you into thinking you're not as equal as a man, and you are. You are as equal as a man, I promise you. Do not believe their victim narrative. They pull this crap out of their butt. I mean, this N.O.W Bill, it's been amended, it just hasn't been ratified. But who doesn't live by that code? Who doesn't live by you can't discriminate? And the Discrimination Act was passed in 1964, or well, the Civil Rights Act. And they still feel that they're such victims that they need more protection. Do you understand that? You already have the Civil Rights Bill for you, for everyone, but women need special bills for them. Do you see? Alright guys, that's it for me. I want you to critically analyze feminist.org. I want you to go and look at their website. I want you to look at the ERA yes crap that they're trying to pull. Critically analyze that. Critically analyze if you can ever find the invisible patriarchy. And other than that, have a good day. Later.